Good morning. Haven't made enough videos lately. Too much going on. But last I was out late doing a little car rescue with my daughter, and I left the doors to the tea house wide open, both of them, much more open than this. And I did it in the hopes that it would rain, because I've been closing down for rain and hasn't been happening. So I left it all open, and I came home and took a Tiny Lakes tour in the dark and was overjoyed by a flashlight to see what's going on over here. So it rained really good over here in Yurtville, and pretty much everything up here just doing stellar, slowing down the water. And then coming down here and working on this bank that I put. But the good news is, hey, the ants are really thriving, by the way. The good news is, see that one that eroded out? It's making a flat place. It's perfect for making salat, Muslim prayers. It's making me a nice deck that faces Mecca. Anyway, maybe that's too much information. But this is what was overjoyed. This thing I did with the blankets is working. So these old quilts that I found, and I put them over the dams. You can see here the dirt, the line of little beautiful runoff stuff like leaves and seeds and things like that collecting around the top of this dam. And instead of eating the dam apart, it ran right over the dam here, eroded a little, but left a nice line because it was overflowing all the way down the line instead of just in one place. It left a nice border, little mustache line. Now the next one here, this one held a lot of water last night. This little lake here was full of water. And you can see the line here maybe is lower, where it collected sediment around the edges, not sediment, but leaf stuff and rabbit shit, all the good stuff. This one here has a little spillway that was in it, and it worked, which I will take out some of that spillway. I'll pull the blanket back and build up the dam in that spot. Maybe you can see it better from here. There's a spillway there that I had put in so I wouldn't lose the whole dam. But these blankets under dirt are working really good, and I'm about to pick up a lot more dirt to work with, because just because of the rain a few days ago, I started digging out the entrance to the house more, so I'll have a lot of extra dirt. This is all going to drop down a foot or two to keep the house from becoming a cold sink in the wintertime, where you get cold air rushing in on your feet. I'm going to dig the entrance down and leave the doorway high so you step over the doorway. But let's keep looking at the lakes here. This is the Tiny Lakes report. And these things are collecting beautiful, beautiful. That dark mud is topsoil off of the hill. Really good for growing. This one I call Cochiti Lake. This is a big one that was happening kind of naturally. It had done a lake here before because of erosion, and then it had filled it up with sand. So with dirt from the pit house, I built up the edge, and it is now collecting amazing amounts of this stuff. which is just gold. It's already glued together as if the mushroom people are already building webs under it. And it's just collecting a tremendous amount of this duff. And it's collecting a ring of it here, which is just to die for. This ring of black pinon leaves and things is just fantastic. Sand is coming in too. Tremendous amount of sand because of the piñons dying. We lost 90% of the piñons because of drought 15 years ago. And so there's a lot of extra sand which is gonna come in. And this guy looks like he's having a hard time. She's not having a hard time at all. I might wash off her leaves a little bit today. But they probably work as sunscreen too. And I'll dig out a little of the extra sand that came in so that she still has a basin. She's in the crosshairs. I thought this one was dead. But these guys, these are the future. Because this line is the way it's got to be done now. Look at all the junk that's just piling up under them because of the overflow situation here. So this dam held very nicely, made a huge, looks really plain here, but it's shiny black topsoil, fine stuff, clay and organic matter. It's building up over the sand, so it'll start holding more water. It's claying itself, it's sealing itself. So this lake is really, also you see a big blank space, but all the trees around it, all of these trees are getting the biggest drink of water that they've had in 20 years. And they're putting roots into this big blank spot. Anywhere you see blank out here, it's not blank, even though there are not trees growing right in it yet. I don't have a lot of time right now to transplant more tree of heavens. But these blank spots all have giant roots, especially from the juniper trees. And the juniper trees are the host to the young pinon trees. Everywhere there's a juniper tree, there's a pinon tree that's growing up underneath it. The pinon trees don't grow up under pinon trees. They grow up under the juniper trees. This was a little extra dam just for this lovely little cactus, which makes great flowers. So she has her own little dam there, not too big. And this is where the dam is being made out of those tree of heavens. And I know they're not a native species, but they seem to be really friendly root-wise. They seem to be friendly in the roots with the piñons and junipers. They don't seem to be really in conflict. And we'll see later on. All trees have, kind of root defenses and offenses. This little dam here was just the last one. I didn't even have time to do it, but it's slowing things down. I have to move all this junk and put in a new dam here because it's almost happening all by itself. And a lot of black stuff is accumulating here. So this needs a dam big time. Let's go across the road and look at the other ones, huh? These ones last night were amazing. And this was just done because of pure laziness. My back was so tired from digging at the end of digging the pit. I just started going downhill with the dirt. I made that weird fishhook dam. So just splitting off a little bit of water up here by the culvert where it comes under the road. I just made a big kind of a lazy fishhook line. And there's no blankets or anything holding the dam. So the end of the fish hook is literally just digging itself its own channel around it. But last night this was just full of water. So these little trees that are growing out, they used to be in the middle of nowhere. Now they can put their roots over here into a lake if they want to. And the lake will only have water, you know, a few times a year. And this weird little dam I made, which I thought was just going to fail in a day, it spills over nicely. And it's collecting again a lot of fine dirt and nutrition and things like that for all these trees growing down here. So the lake report is good, to say the least. So I think I'm going to start leaving my car windows open and my engine open. The hood is up all the time because pack rats tend to move in this time of year. They make a little house over here and over here. And they sit up on top of the engine when it's cooling down and they warm themselves up. And I hate to do it, but I really don't need the pack rats in the engine of the car. They live down here, by the way. Might as well meet the pack rats because they're my main architectural advisors. They have picked out the corner where there's a corner of this road comes around, and they have aimed their house the same way as me. They have a whole pueblo under these trees at the corner, under this juniper tree. They have a pueblo, God only knows how many. You see, I throw them a little carton of this and that once in a while. I gave them a treat a little while ago. But they take care of themselves very well. So they're living on the corner because the sun is sweeping around their whole house in the wintertime, their whole village. And they're getting a solar gain all day long from first light in the southeast, where the sun comes up in the winter. They're getting a huge amount of solar gain all the way until sunset. So they're getting set up for the winter. They're digging in just like me. And they have a beautiful thing because across this road, here's a cholla. And cholla cactus has thorns that are, they're made like caltrops in the Middle Ages. They make these little, the cactus makes a thorn that sticks out in all directions. So if you step on one, you have to sit down and really work at getting them out, and they hurt like crazy. So you can see in their house, I'm not getting in too close here. Maybe I'll just use the focus. Oh yeah. You can see how they're bringing the cactus home to eat. The cactus is good to eat, but the thorns are left over. And the ground here is actually, even though it doesn't look like it, it's seeded with thorns. So if a doggy tries to go in and dig them up, they get about one step in there. If I walk in there to give them food, I have to spend half an hour pulling cholla thorns out of my shoes so I don't track them in the house. So the pack rats are doing good. Tiny lakes are doing good. The Tree of Heavens are doing good. And that's the Tiny Lakes report. So take care of yourself. Thank you.